Get your day started right. From our shack to yours, this is Coffee and Ham Radios. We are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And then there were two.
I guess we're live, right?
Yeah, so there's like no secret going on this morning that, Ham Radio Dude's not here because he's currently landing a hot air balloon. I'd say single-handedly, but he's got Shane along for help, and there's some captain lady or something helping them out.
Him and Shane had a bromance ride in the hot air balloon, right?
They did. Go check out Ham Radio Dude's channel for that Titanic, don't you dare close your eyes scene that they put on together.
I linked it earlier in the chat. Yeah. I got to tell you, man, that did look like fun, but you're in this little wicker basket, with another dude, and a big ball of fire shooting off every couple seconds up in the air. I don't know if that's safe or not. You know what I mean?
It sounds like my kind of romance, man. I'll tell you what. They needed some champagne up there.
Some grapes. Like, I thought they were going to feed each other grapes and stuff. But...
Well, you know why we didn't see Dude on camera most of the time was because he was fanning Shane to keep him cool.
Right, to make sure it didn't get too hot. It looked kind of chilly there. They were bundled up pretty good, right?
Yeah, so Joe Brett's calling me out for the plaid in the chat. Joe Brett, I'm wearing the K5YVY live streaming uniform this morning. I saw you yesterday morning. I got to say, yesterday was an exciting day for ham radio on the air.
What happened yesterday that was so exciting?
Oh, man. Yesterday, Joe Brett was live streaming, and I was chasing him across the band and finally got to work him on Echo Link, which is kind of cheating. And then Callum was live streaming, and I was trying to work him a little bit and didn't get anything. And then I got a new amp I was playing with. That was fun. I made a couple of contacts with that, a couple of Parks on the Air contacts. And then I tried to talk to somebody in Scotland, but wasn't making it over the pond there. And then finally, Hayden's like, I got my All-Star link connected. And, let's do this. So I try to call Hayden on All-Star Link, and he's got it connected to his 6-meter repeater in Tasmania. So I'm talking to some other Tasmanian.
There's some Tasmanians down there.
Tasmanian. What do you call them?
Beats me. I don't know. I don't call them much. I tell you that.
Yeah.
But I didn't do much ham radio playing yesterday, although I went on a troubleshooting mission. So for tomorrow's show, I got a whole bunch of pictures and stuff like that, and we'll talk all about it and tell the tale of some interference that I've been getting. It should be pretty exciting. But I went and shut down the mains power of the house yesterday. And, man, I felt like I don't want to say it, but I mean, I felt like a 15-year-old girl. That switch, bro, that switch is hard to flip. You know what I mean?
It is.
I was using all my grip strength, and then, turned the house off, and I did my testing, and then it came back to turn it on, and I was like, damn, what if I can't get it back on?
I know.
I can't go ask Gene Shorts Dave next door. Be like, hey, bro, I need you to come over here and turn my house back on.
I'm going to need to see your man card.
Yeah, I'd have to be like, I sprained my thumb, but I got it back on, and then I had to reset all the clocks, so.
12 o'clock flasher.
Yeah. Looks like Adam says he's 7 hours into smoking a brisket right now.
Nice.
Have to go over to Adam's house. Can you email me some of that, Adam, when it's done? I'd appreciate that.
Send me some SSTV, too. I don't have email. I haven't gotten into the 20th century yet.
So the boys made some memes of me that turned in, of course, Don turned it into a...
That's what Don does.
SSTV thing. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. If it was somebody else, I would laugh, so I can't be upset about it, right?
Yeah, if it was somebody else, I would laugh because it's Don. So where's Chuck at? Where'd Chuck be at? I'm an English well this
Chuck
morning.
Took his wife to Hawaii, right? Didn't you know what he did?
I saw that Chuck got laid. I saw a bunch of fruity drinks.
He's got a nice looking pool where he's staying too. He says
it's a saltwater pool.
And he had some legit, authentic Hawaiian food.
Well, old boy was talking about going to Hawaii and getting some Starbucks. I don't know what was going on with that.
So you're supposed to get that Kona blend when you're out there, right? And they all drink the Kona blend.
You got to keep it native, shade grown on the side of a mountain in Hawaii.
Yeah. So I don't know. So he's out there. He's gonna miss next weekend too. I think he gets back Sunday night, so a week from tomorrow. So we have to do some planning for the shows there. Tomorrow we have Steve Goodgame is coming on. He's painting his house today, so he couldn't be here today. So that'll be exciting. And then Nuggets, you got a special guest on Nuggets, don't you?
I got Steve Goodgame's new boss Monday night. Monday night, Dave Minster, the ARRL CEO is coming on, and we're going to talk radio, hopefully more than we're going to talk ARRL. But once you get David in the room, all bets are off.
Well, seeing that he's Good Game's new boss, I think you might have to say Good Game. I might have to tell some tales on you, unless you slide me a little cash or a gift certificate or something.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work something out. I don't know. All that time that we filled in for him on the replacements. I think he owes us.
Right? He owes us. The way I see it,
at least 2 or 3. I mean, we've been doing that for longer than we've been doing Coffee and Ham radios.
That's true. So they're saying that somebody had to take Chuck had to take something out there. He took his radio. He took a 857, right? That's a DC to daylight 100 watter.
Old Yaesu, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you drinking this
morning? He took the Chuck
fruity.
Tana, and I'm not sure what other stuff he took.
What are you drinking this morning? That looks awful fruity.
No, it's not. It's just iced tea. My wife ordered a bunch of these glasses, pint glasses, off the internet. So we have like a whole shelf full of all these different ones, which are kind of cool. But we've probably broken like 6 of them.
Oh, I like this. Joe Brett says we get to tell Good Game's boss all the things that wasn't on the resume.
Right, like that stint he had in the county lockup.
Yeah.
Why is everybody breaking your horns over the flannel? What's the story there?
Oh, because I am wearing my normal TO uniform underneath, so I don't know what you guys are about. But
well, that's a lined flannel you got on up there.
It's fleece line.
One of them faux fleece line.
So I've said this before a couple of times on streams, but this is the ham shack that's on the 3 Seasons porch, and this is Wisconsin. And all of a sudden, fall just came. Last weekend, 80 degrees. This morning, 40 degrees.
Yeah, I was expecting second summer, but it seems like fall dropped pretty hard.
You get second summer down in Nebraska? I thought that was farther south.
I get it in parts. I'm south central Nebraska, so it's a little bit different. Remember, I'm right on the timeline too, so it's 2 times in my house.
It was 102 this week in California. Nice. Yeah,
I don't know about being around in 102. I think I would have had enough of that.
I'd be inside in the AC. I'll tell you what.
For sure.
Temp drop like it saw a state trooper. I like that one.
Yeah. So my project for this week is I got that Hermes Light 2. A side boom sent it to me. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell anybody that, but he did. Uber Geek. He's got 2 names, and it's pretty cool. So I got to do the assembly on it, but Don helped me out with some documentation. Like there's like zero. Like you would think that you could just find the Hermes Light 2 instruction manual. Not that I would read a manual, but you can't. You know what I mean?
YouTube's for.
There ain't much on YouTube on it either, to be honest with you. But I'm thinking about changing my mind on a portable digital station after learning more about that thing. Like, I'm a huge fan of the 705, and I feel like it's a pinnacle type radio, like a game changer with all this technology that they got jammed in there. The Hermes Light 2 does not have the same layers of technology, but I mean, this thing is tiny and it is super clean, and it would be a perfect digital station. I got to tell you that. So we're going to have to learn more about it, but it's like $250. And so that's where I'm like, it's for what you pay, what you get. It's pretty impressive.
Right on. You get the bang for the buck that you're looking for. That's pretty good. I dropped a link to the stream in the chat. Today is open mic night. I don't know how that works at 9 a.m. Central in the morning here, but if you guys want to come on and do a little rag chew with the crew, that works for me too. Man, that was like 3 rhymes in a row. All right, I'm done for the day.
Yeah, so that takes a lot of energy.
It's not going to get any better than that. But actually, I got a story for you while we're doing open mic night. There's a lot of bro love in the ham fam here. And I had a dream about old KK6USY and SmokinApe last night. And it's not what you think. it was like one of those, like, way back when, or before they were famous, VH1 behind the hams kind of thing. And young Mr. Ape, I don't know, all of like 17 or 18, wearing his rolled up jeans, baggy jeans
Yep.
with the tight cuff on the ankles and the Reeboks, and and the curly hair. It looked like Mario Lopez hanging out with
all long in the back
with Mr. Thompson for the teacher. We got Don in the house. Good morning, Don.
Yeah, just a second. I got to mute the silly. Oh, okay. It muted. All right.
There we go.
So, I was just coming in because Ape was talking about the Hermes. So
I figured you just say it's like Beetlejuice. You say Hermes light 3 times and Don shows up.
Yeah.
Oh, I was here after the balloon thing.
I got to tell you, give me 1 second. I'm going to grab it because I'm just enamored by the Hermes light.
Yeah, I was too. I got the, and by the way, it's $325 because you really need that filter board on the end of it, and the case is kind of nice to have. So when you get those other 2 parts with it, it's about $325.
Since I got you here, I wanted to ask you a question about this Cat 5 port, or whatever they call this thing, the network port.
Yeah.
So it says it's 100 megabits to gigahertz, and it says auto sensing.
Yeah.
So can I plug this directly into my computer's Ethernet port, or do I need a crossover cable?
I haven't tried that, but I would guess if it's truly gigabit, then you would not need it. Well, you'd have to have gigabit on both sides, right? So assuming your computer is gigabit also, then you should not need it. But I haven't done it that way. I plug it into my router, and when it's plugged into the router and you have the software and you say connect to radio, it goes out and finds the radio. As long as the subnet's the same.
And are you just using console, or are you using like Power SDR? Or there's like 6 different software.
I'm using Power SDR Theta.
Okay.
Which has the Hermes stuff in there. You probably want to start with Quisk or something like that and go through and do the radio setup and follow all of the documentation. Then it makes it easier to move to some of these other applications to do all this setup. And by the way, one of the things that's really neat about the Hermes is that Gateware software, which is the firmware that runs on the board. They have different versions of it, and it's not that you're upgrading it, but you can change the way that it works. So you can actually monitor up to 11 slices at one time. But when you do that, it takes away the transmit ability.
You can't transmit multiple slices at the same time.
No. Because it's only got one transmitter, just like the Flex. But you can listen to, you can actually listen to more slices on there and still be able to transmit than you can on a Flex. A Flex will do, like mine will only do 4, but that thing will do up to, I think, 8 slices.
And so it's got these 2 SMA connectors right here, but you don't use those SMA connectors. I'm going to use the ones on the...
No, the ones on the front of the board are like for clocks.
Right.
Yeah, they're not. And there's 2 clocks, and I think one of them is not even connected. And I have never seen, even on the Flex, I've never seen the need for that additional 10 megahertz clock line. I got it off the POTUS site.
They're saying that they only have the golf shirts in stock right now. So just have to wait your turn, boys.
Well, if you go to Discord and you look at the POTUS shirt I'm wearing there and the POTA hat, that's the one that's got the embroidered POTA logo. This one is kind of like the silkscreen. Mm-hmm. But I really like that shirt. That one is nice, but it's more expensive than this one. But it's got they embroidered my name and call sign on the other one.
Tom's saying you use the clock when you're running a transverter, and that makes total sense.
I have not needed to do it. I've run 220 megahertz off the transverter off of the Hermes, and I haven't needed a reference clock. What that does is it allows you to it will lock the frequency in, and so it prevents frequency drift. So if you're on 224.4, it stays on 224.4 as it heats up.
Gotcha.
And doesn't drift. But I haven't had that problem.
Did you have to buy these? Because
yeah,
the SMA connectors are so close together, you're not going to get an adapter on there.
Not on the back. But
for those of us not in the know, what's in the bag?
Did he send you the filter board, Ape?
I got the whole everything.
Well, look at the back of the filter board. That's pretty far apart. Those are pretty far apart.
I have not de-static.
There's the boys.
Hey, look at that.
Guys, what's going on?
What's up, guys?
What's up, fellas?
Wow.
We done ballooned it.
It looked flat to me. From where you were, it looked flat.
That's because we didn't get high enough, Abe.
Same
I
here.
don't know. Y'all look pretty high in that balloon. I was like, what are they doing?
I think the max we got was like 800 feet.
So are you guys book it again to go up this afternoon or what?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I think dude needs a beer first.
I was talking about it in my video, but I was shaking pretty good.
You could see.
And
Shane does
it's not that I was nervous, but when you're 6'1" or 6'2" and the basket's only 3 feet,
Right, like teeter-totter right out of that SUV.
we get this slight movement. I'm like, I don't know. So then you're trying to like
You have to do the shuffle.
you're rotating between people because the pilot needs to go in certain spots. And then what happens is
Yes. Okay.
all right, I'm good here. So then what happens is as you're shifting, you got radio in a hand, you're trying to stream, you're trying to throw an antenna off, and it just doesn't work. And we had some really bad RFI on the balloon, believe it or not.
From the fire thing, what is that called? A torch?
It's got to be, right? And so we were hearing stations, but I had I don't know, S5, S7 noise level.
You were saying that at one point the radio was getting desensed.
I was. This Hardy right here, he was trying to contact us, and he had 100 watts, and so he was too close for us at 100 watts. Want to be on YouTube? Yeah. So Hardy was following us. He was a trail.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on?
So and that's what people are going to roast me, but that's what I say about the 7300 when everybody's like, it is the perfect field day radio if you're by yourself. You know what I mean? The second you get somebody out there.
Hardy, what were you using for the radio? I already know the
Well,
answer.
UFDX10, and then also the 100 is what we started with.
Oh, the 100, that's an old one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice,
It is.
Is that a perma-mount DX10 in that car, or is that...
It looks like it's not permanent.
No, it's not. It fits perfectly right there on that little hump, though.
Convenient.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that was it, guys. That was it.
Yeah, that's the reason I got rid of my 7300. I do not. I've had that desense issue, and every other radio I've had in this shack has never had that problem.
Well, people want to act like it doesn't. People want to act like that desense issue's not there, but it totally is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So was he already following you on the ground, or was he parked at the landing spot?
He was. No, we didn't know where we were going to land. So here was the problem, and I'll explain this all in the video too, or Shane will. But when we get up in the air, we kind of go whichever way the jet stream or whatever takes us.
You have like a fan on the back.
So they didn't know. So he was just following us on the ground wherever we were going. And what had happened is we had to land early because we didn't have enough fuel to go over Ray Roberts Lake. And if we would have tried to, we would have ended up in the middle of the lake and
taking a swim.
It would have become a swimming competition today. And I do okay in the pool, but
well, there could be a Loch Ness monster in that lake.
Yeah, ask her if she's ever had an accident where she ended up landing in the lake.
Landing in the lake?
Yeah, I wonder if
She
she's
was
ever had
worried
that
about
problem.
it, yeah.
You know?
I'll ask her and I'll get back to you. But
just curious. I mean, she may not.
Yeah.
But
I don't
It
think
might not
she
be
had.
good for business to talk about that.
I can't remember what Shane said. Shane said it was a
Question about fishing water.
if she'd ever been in the water.
I don't know if she has, but balloons, I've seen them. They'll touch the bottom of the water. And then I've seen one time I was up in Oklahoma and the wind stopped, and I actually let one balloon park on the boat.
On the boat.
It's on the bow of the boat.
But
So you could
I
have
don't know.
done Balloon Mobile and Maritime Mobile all in one day.
It would have been perfect, all in one, and then go to the grassy knoll, and back Noel, and activate that too. But Shane said it was a picture perfect landing. It's what do you call it? As flights will call it a
Shane don't know.
Yeah,
contour
it's
landing.
it's like you come down real close to the ground, and then you get into where the air's kind of soft. You wait for it to settle down, and then she just
Soft air.
hit the deal, and the hot air left the top of the balloon, and we just settled onto the grass.
Nice and smooth, man.
What is Shane drinking over there?
Whiskey.
Water and whiskey and something else.
Whiskey.
But
Ew, that's gross.
we got to get going here. They're about ready to pack it up and.
All right, have fun,
Frank
boys.
said, "Did you guys hear Frank?" He goes, "Did somebody say whiskey?"
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Where's
take
Frank?
off.
He's holding
guys.
the ca- he's holding
Do
the
y'all
camera.
get to help her fold it up, or she got to do that all by herself?
She has a whole crew out here doing that.
Oh,
I'm paying the big bucks, so I don't have to work.
Good one.
What is that?
Hey, look at that shirt. Look at that shirt Frank's got on.
What?
Looking good, man. Looking good.
Oh,
Listen,
man. How's
Meg-
my hair today? Is it all right?
It looks
It's as
that
good as
shirt
it always
accentuates
is.
it.
Listen, Meg has her favorite ham sticker being the SmokinApe sticker. Tank shows up to a ham radio dude event with a SmokinApe shirt. I quit YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
you heard it here first, guys.
All right, I gotta go, guys.
Take care.
Take care.
Yeah, it looks like they're having fun down there in Texas. The
Oh,
next
yeah.
stop would be the taco shop if it was up to me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we had a good time at that little thing that we did where I got to meet Sean and a bunch of guys, Jason, Tank, Mike, Kate, MRD was out there. And we met at that bar. It was a fun time.
And you said they had your Coke Zero at the bar.
Yeah. I mean, it's not on the menu, but they had something where I didn't have to drink alcohol because I can't. I'm taking too many drugs. Chuck.
We got
What is
Chuck
going
and
on?
we got an adventure guy.
We
Yeah.
got James.
What's
So
going on,
real-
guys?
You're
Hello.
in, Chuck. You're good. So real quick, Liberty was asking to explain what desense is, and who do we want to put on the spot for that?
Molson.
All right, Molson, you're here. Welcome. Explain desense for the audience.
It looks like Molson's growing out his winter coat.
Yeah.
How you doing this morning, Daniel? Still less hair than Shane. All right, good.
What do you,
I could hear Molson holding the frequency all the way here in Nebraska. What do they call that? Ground control, station control, frequency
Yeah.
control?
Net control.
yeah,
But it's not a net though, right? Molson needs to start selling that service. You need to get yourself an ad on back page or whatever it is that they read.
Kijiji.
And sell it. But desensing is when your radio is getting more signal basically than it can filter. And what'll happen is that you'll hear nothing because it's overloading the front end of your radio. It really there you go. It happens a lot with Balfangs.
I didn't have to spend $7,300 money to get desense.
But it can be a common thing if you are in an area where there is a lot of very strong RF. So that's why, like at field day, everybody says, "Oh, bring your bandpass filters," so that way somebody can transmit on 7 megahertz and you can be on 14, and you don't have to worry about desensing.
Somebody had to say it.
Yeah. And then I love ICOM radios. I have the 7300 and the 705. They get overloaded easy. I'm just going to be open and honest about it.
When you prick him, he bleeds ICOM.
They're not one of my sponsors. But speaking of sponsors, I'm working on one from Gold Peak Iced Tea. So if you're watching Gold Peak, hit me up in my DMs on Only Hams.
Yeah, definitely. I saw that Only Ham shirt too, looking good.
Yeah, thank you.
Chuck, how's the pool? You're looking pretty dry.
Yeah, well, it's wet here. It's been raining almost every day.
Oh, it's
But just for not for a long time. And who cares in the ocean, right?
Man, look at this. Chuck's on a cheap little dollar store headset, and he still sounds better than all of us.
That's
No,
just
this-
Chuck.
This is a eBay special. Check these things out, man. They're nice. They're not. Well, they're cheap actually.
How's the food out there, Chuck? What are you getting? It's good.
Oh, Oh man, we went to the food trucks the other day. Got shrimp. Oh my god, it was excellent. That's the best food we've had yet.
All right, Don says he's got to head on out this morning. He might need to be making breakfast or something. I don't know.
No, I'm going to watch on the stream, and because there are other people that probably want to jump in.
Yeah, I'll jump out here too.
All right, Don, I appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for that info.
Back to the breakfast report with Chuck.
Yeah, so we cooked jerk chicken last night out by the pool. It was actually pretty cool. I'm trying not to wake people up. Sorry.
Now, what do they call that? Katsu chicken is how they Hawaiian style. Do they call it chicken katsu?
They got all kinds of names. I don't know. I can't speak Hawaiian.
NRD's like, what time is it in Hawaii? It's still yesterday?
It's 4:00.
I was going to say, it's got to be around 4.
And I did not get my antenna. It poured last night when I was getting ready to put the antenna up to try to get the dude this morning. So
I couldn't get the dude this morning either.
I'm not here. I put the antenna up a couple of times. I'm not hearing much at all here, so I don't know if it's my location or what.
And then look at all the paper on Adventure Guy's wall there.
Oh, yeah, he's a Coda hero. Look at that. James, tell us about all that paper.
That paper's a lot of work. That's what that paper is.
It is.
I spend a lot of time. I spend more time on the radio in the field than I do at the house, that's for sure. And they go all the way around the wall. I got to build a bigger shack because I've got some more to hang up.
Yeah.
So I see a Yaesu dual bander over your right shoulder. I see a G90, and then I see an MFJ tuner next to that. What else we got?
Got the 991A. You got the MFJ tuner. You got the G90. Yaesu FT1900 and the Kenwood S450.
How are you set up over there?
Yeah, so since Daniel's going to offer this holding the frequency service, Daniel, I got a special event for the whole month of October between 7 and 10 p.m. on 71.88. Can you hold that frequency for me?
You know what? Just because the frequency, I would do that with pleasure. I would do it. But we have a net. We take priority. But that one of the things there's a lot of fading today with Shane and Sean's hot air mobile unit. I saw somebody mention counterpoise, and do you think there was an issue with grounding at all, Smoking Ape, or what's the story?
Were you talking about the desensing problem that they had, or?
They're up and down on their signal.
They're up and down, and then obviously they were using the 705, right?
They were.
Because the whole time I was kind of like, wow, that's because you listen to Carlos and his. Now, first of all, the height is very different, but Carlos has, he's pretty good. He gets out there, but then at the end, I realized it was a 705, and I was like, oh, to me, I was like, that explains it. Does that explain it, or is there more going on?
Well, I don't know exactly what was going on, but one thing I'll say is that when Dude was unwinding that antenna, I started to get nervous it was going to get tangled. No,
yeah,
I don't think it got tangled, but it looked like there was some memory in that antenna. And I did not see a counterweight on that antenna to hold it at a certain straight down or at an angle or whatever. Yeah. So if that antenna is getting blowed around in the wind, your polarization is going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
That would account for the fading, right?
Yeah. Well, that would be my guess. I couldn't hear him well enough to make any kind of diagnosis there, but and you don't know that stuff until you do it once, right? Like you learn stuff as you go along.
Yeah.
What I would suggest the next time is make sure that you got some kind of counterweight on that to make sure that it stays consistent.
Fix the angle of the dangle, as they say.
Right. It's directly proportional.
It is. We got Jim and we got Craig. Craig went on silent there, so we'll talk to Jim first. How you doing this morning, Jim?
Good. How are y'all doing?
Doing good. So real quick, we got kind of upstaged with Don coming in. Ape, did I nail that? Did you have the curly mullet when you were in high school?
I did not. So when I was in middle school, I definitely had a big mullet that went down, and it was not curly. But in high school, I rode skateboards around all the time, so I had basically the shaved head and all the hair in the front that hung down on my face. And I'll see if I can find some pictures because y'all will laugh, I'm sure.
I've destroyed all my high school pictures.
But the mullet was not in high school. That was right before high school.
Those two.
How you doing this morning, Craig?
Oh, all's well here. Just waiting on the youngster to get ready so I can drop her happy little self off at work.
Then you get the whole Casa to yourself?
No, I've got a wife keeping a ever watchful eye on me.
Ah, that's what they're good for, though.
The house was empty here yesterday. That's how I pulled off the power shutdown.
Daniel, you were going to say something?
You're talking about mullets. My son keeps on talking about wanting to grow a mullet. I said, just do it. Like, if I could, I would. Just for the hell of it. But I can't.
It's the thing to do. I mean, tell him to do it.
Well, my son watches these my son works at a dairy farm, and he watches all these farming channels. And there's this one. It's called what is it? Cole the Corn Star, and his brother has a YouTube channel called Magic Mullet, and it is a magical mullet, and he wants to grow it. So I was like, go for it, you know. So,
you can only get away with it for so long, so tell him to do it.
That's right. That's right. So I told him if you're like your dad, if it's genes, you're gonna lose it once you get married. So you got at least 10 more years. I used to have a full head of hair, man. I used to do my hair like the Wolverine. Well, that no lie, I did. But I want to show you guys something. I'm gonna put some light on in here. I want to show you guys something.
Uh-oh. I got my finger on the button, everybody. So
you have to say, make sure you got the dump button ready to go.
Yeah, that was the first thing I did after getting out of the army was grow a mullet halfway down my back.
Because you can.
See if I
can't anymore. Too many U-turns under the bed sheets.
Looks like Molson's got a guitar over there too, and Jim's got a couple of them in there.
Oh, so Molson plays all the intros.
He's got a new camera.
I've had this one for a while. I did that yesterday. I made some floating shells. I know the resolution's not good, but the wall over my bench, and they're glass shells that stick into these slots, and they're just cantilevered. Nice. And if you look right there, I cut a hole into the storage room, and these are pull-out trays.
It's kind of slick.
I was noticing the shelf of 80-meter lube up there in the corner too.
But those are project trays, so you can work on a project, and then instead of like putting into a pile, you put them all into the drawer. They're 36-inch deep. And I got a couple projects starting on there. So.
Project trays.
Yeah.
This is a project tray here. But it's a giant mess. That looks good, Molson. And then what is that sipping liquor you got up there on that shelf?
Yeah, my wife bought, I don't know, I got some whiskey. I got peanuts and all the alcohol's upstairs. But my wife when guests come over and my wife doesn't want us to look like a bunch of drunks, which we're not. She'll send
that's
any
what a drunk
alcohol.
would say, right?
She'll send any alcohol that's on the kitchen counter upstairs. She'll give it to my daughter, and they'll come put it in my shack here. One day I had like 10 bottles here, and anyway, so they were in here, so I just put them up there. So,
and then keep going. You got your sign behind you that you built.
Yeah, sorry, the light there, but those are gear. I made gears years ago for my boys' room, and there as a mural, and it never went up. So then when I built my shack here, I put them there, and then I laser cut some acrylic, my call sign. And you see those like 3 little black spots there? They're these little pendant lights, LED. But I got to build they're very, very sensitive. They have like, I don't know, like they don't have any built-in resistors or anything. So I have to build a circuit unit before I put the power supply to it, or else they're going to burn out. And that's all component drawers there. And
what is that? A poison ivy leaf behind your call sign, or?
No, that's the Canadian, the maple leaf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No.
He's a big sports fan.
Because I'm proud to be a Canadian. No, wrong song.
Sounds about the same.
Yeah. So yeah, and then this is the. Oh, what happened?
Oh, it looks
Did you
great.
lose me? Hold on.
No. We lost you.
You look beautiful.
Did that.
Oh, that's because hold on.
Looks like my project box.
All right. Yeah. So this is the station. My 950, the Kenwood TM D700, the 920, a couple of other radios, the old ICOM. Plenty of room for other equipment here. So, yeah, that's the shack.
Oh, somebody took a picture of you.
Oh well.
No, it's a picture that I'm getting ready to upload to Discord, Tio. So if you could pull it up, it would be awesome.
Who's got the whistles going on in the background?
Not I.
I do have a fan going, T.O. Just.
Oh, of course you do.
It's Alabama.
It is what it is, man.
Oh, this is the you're talking about guitars. This guitar here is an old Ibanez that I it had bridge bulge, and so I actually made it antenna. So I was doing a video for it just for the hell of it, and then I lost all the footage. So, but it does antenna.
Nice.
It does hook up to my Baofeng, and I can get into repeaters that I can't get in normally. So,
you got that, Tio?
Yeah, I got it. I'm working on it.
Is there nothing a Baofeng won't do?
Yes. There is. So, yeah. But I'm hoping to do I got to rebuild my MFJ antenna, which I have all the stuff to do that, my NFED. And then it's time to start working on some of those winter projects or projects that I want to get done before winter that I did that video about, because I'm just going to start going into my second week of vacation.
Oh my gosh.
So that was me in like 10th grade. See, and you can even see my big old ape hands there. Look at the one on the ground. But what surprises me the most of this picture is how tight those pants were. Yep. I can tell you right now.
And you still have kids. Right now, it didn't harm anything.
I'm not wearing pants anywhere near that tight these days. But
and I do see the rolled cuff too. So
the rolled cuffs, and they're probably Nike Vandals or Vans, but most likely Nike Vandals.
Yeah, I recognize that ape thumb from all the build videos.
That's right.
Well, people see that and they're like, "That's not you." I'm like, "Okay, whatever it is," but
yeah, sure.
But that's how I used to spend my days. That was on the patio behind the high school, so I would just stay out there riding my skateboard all day.
Now I don't see any corn in that photo, so
it's a corn-free zone, and we have some of those. But
actually, it's no secret. We talked about it on a couple of streams before that you were born in Baltimore, like I was.
I was.
We're old-time homies.
Yep. We probably hung around all the same places, right? Like the library, the Radio Shack.
Exactly.
Ape still got the accent. T.O., you don't have the Baltimore accent.
That was back before Walmart was a thing. We couldn't hang out in Walmart parking lots.
Right, you couldn't.
Plasma Storm's asking what board was that. Now, if you're a skateboard manufacturer, the Smoking Ape would love to be a spokesperson for your company.
I would. Let me pull the picture back up and see if I can tell which one it was.
I wasn't in The Wire, but I was actually in an episode of Homicide.
Really? I have no idea what board that was, but they are tracker trucks with the plastic base plates on those. And they are probably OJ2 wheels. But I can't remember. I used to go through boards like crazy. I don't know which one it was.
Well, have you ever tried those ripsticks they have now? My son has them, and like it's
the
weirdest. Well, yeah, it's like you have to like.
Oh, there's no way I'd get on
shimmy.
That. Nope.
And like it's the most embarrassing thing as an adult to try and do that. And then my son gets on and he's like, do, going everywhere. And me,
the older you get, the more your center of gravity lowers to around the belt line.
Yeah, there's no way that I would get on one of those ripsticks. There's no way. I see the kids riding around on them. I'd be in the hospital. It just isn't going to happen.
I'd break a hip.
Oh, come on, I can ride a ripstick goofy foot. What are you talking about?
When those little scooters came out, those like little razor scooters or whatever came out, mm-hmm. I would go outside and rip around on that pretty good. And that didn't seem as dangerous. But
the handles just reminded you of your walker.
Well, the other one is that you can use your heel of your back foot to either stop it it's got a brake on it, mm-hmm. or you could put it on the ground. It just felt safer. This ripstick, it's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I never skateboarded. I tried one time. I was about 26, 27, and where we lived, there was a slight hill, so I was going down the hill, and the kids were watching me, and they thought it was great until I said, nope, not again.
There's something about the physics of skateboarding or longboarding, because you see these guys and they go super, super fast, and you're like, all it is a kick. Like, how hard can that be? And my buddy had a longboard, and I tried it, and there's something else. There's some magic potion that they use to get that speed. Because, like, I don't know, like, Ape, tell us the secret. How do you resonate your kick so you go faster?
You gotta have a resonant board.
Yeah, what happens though is like when you're going downhill, they'll carve back and forth. And some people say they do that for control, but I think that when you're carving and even when you get in a half pipe and you're going up and down, you pump your body to increase your inertia. So when you watch people go down the hill, they squat down and then they stand up as they turn. And I think that drives inertia to go, because you can go fast as. Man, you get scary on those things, and especially if you get the death wobbles. But those things, somebody's starting to talk about speed wobbles. It gets pretty scary on those things sometimes.
It is all about the pump, like Ape said, but Ape also drives around town in a Flintstone car for his.
You get skilled at it. You just got to give it a try, Moles, and expand your horizons.
It's like swinging on a swing, right?
I'm too old for that now. Not happening.
Yeah, it is like a swing.
Because you're just pumping your body, and that's giving you the.
But my one leg is burned out from doing that kicking on the skateboard all the time.
Well, if you see him in person, that one calf on the right side, it's like 2 times the size of the one on the left side.
It is actually bigger.
But he balances it out with the left arm being bigger than the right arm.
Yeah, well, I'm actually a lefty, and I would ride goofy foot. So that's with my right foot forward. And you're supposed to kick with your back foot, but I didn't. I kicked with the front foot, which was goofy footed.
Okay.
Ape is double backwards.
Right.
Goofy footed.
So we had no idea what we were going to talk about today. We were 2 presenters down, and we're like, I don't know. And then we were going to be upstaged by the balloon, and I think we're doing all right. We're 40 minutes into the show. We got some fantastic guests. I'm going to drop the link in the chat again. We've got some space. That's not the right link. That's the Ape link. Nope. Can't share the ape photo out. That'll be on SSTV before you know it.
Richard's goofy footed too.
That ape photo is probably already on SSTV because Don is in the chat still.
It's already on OnlyHams too. That's where I got it from.
I should have thought about that. What projects are you guys working on?
Go ahead, James.
Or Jim. Yeah, go ahead, James.
You said you're both James.
Well, not really working on a project. The only thing I got coming up is tomorrow I will be in the middle of the exotic Ohio River doing Parks on the Air at Blissenhassett Island State Park. So all you motor chasers want to get me in the exotic Ohio, hit me up tomorrow.
Is that in Ohio or is that on the Kentucky side?
It's technically a West Virginia state park.
West Virginia.
Okay. Yeah, I've got 31 parks left to do this year to finish the state of West Virginia. I promised I would do them all in less than a year, and I'm going to do it.
That's awesome.
Excellent. Okay.
So you were on 20 a couple of days ago, and you were calling CQ. I was spinning a dial, and I heard PZN. And then you said something like, I'm going to call one more time, and then I'm wrapping it up. So I looked you up to make sure it was you, and by the time I got back to the radio, you was gone.
Yeah, it's rare that I was on 20, but I know when you're talking about. Yeah, West Virginia doesn't work really well with 20.
What are you typically on? 40?
40.
Well, if you put a vertical up, can you beam right into that radio quiet zone and mess them folks up?
Yes. But you can actually activate. There's a park really close to there that you can activate, but you have to have a permit.
That's how they get you.
Yep.
That is how they get you.
And then NRD's asking Jim a question.
Yes, I have onlyhams.us because why not? Right now it points to my YouTube channel. I may point it to Coffee and Ham Radio. I wanted to check with the man before I did that.
Who's that, T.O. or?
We'll take turns wearing the hat. You got the hat on today.
No, I was going to point it. I can point it to your Coffee and Ham Radio YouTube channel because it'll just do a redirect.
Yeah, if you want. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you no. Not to do that.
I just bought it because I was amused by doing that at the moment.
Because you was drinking, that's why you bought it.
Maybe there's a lot of things in my life that happened because I was drinking. One of them is 10 years old. So
Who the hell's like on their computer like onlyhams.us? Like
And we get a sticker made.
there's 3 or 4 other knuckleheads, Dan. I mean, I'm the knucklehead who bought the domain. So
And it works. It takes you right to your YouTube site.
yeah, you just do that in the DNS registry and have it do a redirect.
you guys
Jim,
have
what
a
projects
question.
you working on? Oh, go ahead, Daniel.
No,
Nobody
go
wants to
ahead.
hear from Jim.
Go.
Nobody wants to hear about Jim's projects.
Well, I still, my wife and the child unit are going to an Auburn football game today. And that sitting at a college football game is not my jam. I'll watch it on TV, but there's too many humans around for me. So I am going to be wife and child free today. And I still want to work on the scope and do the serial decode stuff. I'm close. I just haven't had enough time to sit down with it. And then I have an FT 3D, and I want to set up wires X on that with the PDN and the software and all that.
Do you have the PDN and all that? You have the box?
I have. So I don't understand all the parts yet. So I have a buddy who loaned me this gear because he wants me to do videos on it. So
Right.
he sent me all the hardware to set up the 3D to do a wires X room. So
That's awesome.
I've never done it. I'm going to load all the software up on a computer where I can video it and play with it. We've been trying to figure out what the major difference between YSF and wires and wires X are. He has a wires X room and I can't connect to it through a hotspot, so I'm like, what good is that, son? It's
Well, wires is no more, right? Now it's all wires X. I think. I don't know for sure. Like I've got older Yaesu radios that have a wires button on them. And like I remember like this guy close to us was like, I got my wires node up and all this other stuff, but it's my understanding anybody can set up a wires X node. And a wires X node is audio, is analog, it's not digital.
okay.
I think. Again, I'm not an expert on that one. It's the system fusion is the part of it that is digital. Now some repeaters will have both. So you can hear people talking on analog and you can hear people talking on digital. Like a repeater near me has a PL tone if you want a different PL tone for system fusion versus wires X. Same frequency, just a different PL tone.
That's nice.
I mean, I don't know. My experience with Yaesu has been with a hotspot, and I actually have a YSF reflector running on the computer back here, and I can connect to that, or I can connect to. I usually go to Alabama Link, and that works fine through the hotspot. And when you look online, Yaesu has their list, which is wires X nodes, talk groups, whatever you want to call it. But that is not the same as the list that's in PyStar of YSF rooms, reflectors, talk groups.
Right.
And they're not the same thing. And so like with my 70D, I can hit Alabama Link through the repeater, the local repeater here, by doing the buttons on the handheld or with my 400 and from the hotspot, but I cannot get to his wires X node at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion that I've been able to figure out yet.
KK6USY says you have a new 3D printer and asking if you have it set up yet. Not only does he have a new 3D printer, he's got a second new 3D printer that's set up. You got 3 of them now.
Yeah, this would be a mono. Well, it's too heavy for me to lift. This is a Monoprice Delta Mini.
Wow.
2. I just got it. It was cheap, and I'll probably give it to my daughter and let her. It'll be her printer.
He needed to get the Monoprice 3D printer to print some 3D parts to finish building his other 3D printers.
So Thump is a wonderful person. He's got 2 Delta printers, and he's always like, "You need to get rid of that printer and get a Delta." Always. Well, he's been having problems with his Delta printers, and in a moment of frustration, he ordered the Ender 3 2 Pro or whatever it is that everybody just got. So I was making fun of him.
V2, yeah.
I was making fun of him last night. I'm like, "Oh, I thought the Delta printer was the printer to get."
Deltas are supposed to be faster, I guess. Now this is a very small, really small print surface. It's like
his are monster size.
I got the longer 3D, and it's a 300 by 300 by 400 bed, so it's a hoss. I could print a full size bust of my awesomeness or something.
You could print a bust of your bust.
Right.
They have Ender has this one that it looks like it's on a treadmill where the bed goes back and it's like it's like a roller bed or whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember the model on that one. You'd have to build the extra room on your house for that thing.
It's big, but you can print all kind of stuff on that.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I mean, because I've seen a couple videos on YouTube, where somebody was printing a sword or something on the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing that they always print is like a giant sword on it for.
Right.
Looks like Clay 3R is the wires Yasu guy in the house.
All right. James is saying he has to head out for a Zoom call. James, thank you for stopping by.
Take care, man.
73 guys. Appreciate it.
Care.
See you, bud.
He got the serious POTA paper over there.
Well, when you're the adventure guy, that's what you do.
I guess that makes sense.
I had an idea. I was bored the other day. I was driving, and I was thinking about doing an experiment, and I'm not too sure exactly what antenna or what setup to do, but you guys know what stage truss, right? That they use to set up lights and stuff like that?
Yep.
Yes.
So at work, I have like a couple thousand feet of that stuff, and I have a version that is very lightweight, and you can lift 30, 40 feet vertical from lie down position with 2 people. And I was thinking about either setting up some sort of grid work and doing some kind of like a loop antenna on it, or I wasn't too sure. I just thought it'd be really cool. It wouldn't take long to do with a buddy or a couple buddies to set up these vertical, like temporary towers. And I was kind of thinking, okay, what can I experiment with? What can I do with this? And I wanted to throw it out there and see with you guys what you thought. Now I have, like, I don't know if you saw my video, I have deer fencing, so I can lift up this and I can strap it temporarily to each leg to the deer fencing, and it's pretty light. So I'm trying to brainstorm what I can do just for fun, and I could leave it up for a while. It wouldn't be a big deal. But for projects, I have some antenna work, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to install my tower now or in the springtime, the tower I picked up, because the long-term goal would be to put a hex beam on it, and I don't think I'm going to be able to build a hex beam relatively quick with everything else I have to do. So do I want to put the financial strain this year or wait till the springtime? So
Adam's asking how much space do you have, but how would you get the wire on the end of the pole once it's up there?
I would install, so I have these truss brackets that are 2-inch, they're clamps. They can do about 1,000 pounds, and I would put that on the end with a pulley, so that you just lift these up and then you pull up whatever you want to. And
you could let it down if you had to adjust it or anything like that.
Yeah, and I have the deer fenced area is exactly 100 feet by 160 feet, but I can go outside of that because I have acres of property. So, but that is where I could secure it really well, is I have a big rectangular area, and it's like dead square because I'm anal retentive. Like for me, I looked at my property like Google Maps, and I'm like, I want my lines all straight and square, and I did the 3, 4, 5 rule, 30, 40, 50.
Sacred geometry. Pythagoras in the house.
Yeah.
I would do an 80-meter loop is what I would do.
So
Adam was saying 160. That's a lot of room. Yep.
So Adam, I was thinking, so he said a wire Yagi, and I thought that too, because like, if you imagine I have 2 row, like, so it's a big rectangular, like my window here of my screen, and 160 on both ends, and my posts are dug at 20-foot increments. And I was like, well, I could, and I have high tension wire on it. I was thinking about that is I could set up a wire Yagi but I wasn't too sure of two things. Number one is that it'd only be roughly 8 feet off the ground. And number two is at the end where it'd be directional, I have all my high tension fencing. So I wasn't sure how that would affect everything because I'm low to the ground and then on the end there's wire. So wasn't too sure, but I could definitely span across and do a massive Yagi. I was talking with my buddy Mel about doing that. So, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe Adam knows the answers to all the problems.
Just get those towers up in the air, and then the questions will just answer themselves.
80-meter loop.
Yeah.
The thing is, 80-meter
coming
loop
up with all kinds of answers. He's talking about bobtails now, double bobtails. He's talking about square bobtails and round bobtails. I mean, he's just bobtails.
He's talking about Bob's tail. Yeah, he did built that bobtail, and it was awesome. The performance. I think he had like 15 dB a gain. Correct me if I'm wrong, Adam. But the thing is a loop antenna is doable, right? Without a lot of engineering background and antennas and all. Like there's tons of. It's a project for sure, but it's not a insurmountable project, and you could get great performance out of it.
Well, I'm going to do a receive like a horizontal loop receive antenna on the last strand of the deer fencing, but yeah, but who wants to go on 80? Come on.
No, you can use it. You can use it on multiples though, right?
Yeah, but still,
What's on 160? Have any of y'all ever operated on 160? I've never.
Oh, the world famous Toad Harbor net 1980. Where's Kevin at? I've been waiting for him to talk about 160.
Is it worse
than
than
80?
160?
No, it's actually pretty silent. The band is interesting because I think it only opens up later in the evening. I don't know because I've only tried to work on 160. I've never actually worked on 160 besides the rare FT8 contact, which doesn't really prove much. Yeah, there's a whole new world down there.
I think I've made like 5 contacts on 160. It's not a big.
Well, you got that big dipole, Tio. You could do it.
I have, but it's out in the yard and it's getting cold. I don't know. Right now, I'm just trying to test like the tensile strength of electrical tape. It's doing pretty well though.
Jim turned his camera off, but I think he left his mic hot. I hope he's not doing anything.
I saw the cat come in the room. Yeah, we'll never see that cat again.
Trying to see how many contacts I made at 160.
Yeah, Adam's saying that 160 is a novelty, but nighttime only. You got to be legit, Ham, to be on 160.
I don't stay up that late at night, man.
Well, but you do have these. You do have the antenna for it. That's
It was fun to build. It was an adventure.
I remember when you were doing. You're like, I got effing wire.
It's so freaking long, man. Like you put it into perspective. I mean, 160 meters is just a lot of meters, man.
Well, like when dude was in the balloon and he's untangling the antenna, I think it was just a 20-meter antenna, right? So it's not even that much wire, but in that little basket, he's pulling it off, and you could see it starting to pile up. And this microphone's getting on my damn nerves.
Well, see, that was poly stealth wire he was talking about.
Yeah.
It's 1930. I thought it was 1980. That's why I can never make a contact on it.
Adam saying his 40-meter does great on 160. I've never even tried it. I've got a 40 up right now. I've never even tried it.
That would be Chuck, old man. You said Adam.
Yeah, look at that. And you know what? I've made that mistake before.
They do look a lot alike.
Their call signs are similar, right?
Yeah, they have 6s in them. Yeah.
They got K's in them, and they got K's and 6s in them.
That's like half the call signs out there in the U.S.
Yeah.
Mine's got an upside down 6 in it.
So you can see how I get confused. Liberty Cave says his 144-foot doublet tunes 160.
Doublets are great. Get it cut for the lowest band of interest, and then get yourself a good tuner. And by cut, I mean like cut it. Don't try to match SWR or anything. Just 160-meter doublet, cut it for 160 meters, feed it from the center, get on the air with a tuner, and you're good on every band above 160.
Yeah, I'm able to push my end-fed antenna, like my 80-meter half-wave and fed halfway to 160. And
Adam's saying that they're basically the same person, and somebody else is like, they both have beards.
Chuck was saying it's tough to be in the same place as Adam. Like they just want to merge.
So, Adam, I got this new Toroid for my
man. That's bigger than your head.
For my QRP project that I'm working on. So
you're gonna put a radio inside of that.
Right. What was funny is I was
that's a mag.
I was thinking I was going to take some pictures of this because you know how like everybody likes to do those binding post antennas. So
nice. The new KK6USY antenna. Chuck antenna.
Is that really like what is that?
It's a 4-inch Toroid, and it's mix 31, so it's like an industrial choke.
He's been talking about Toroids for so long. His doctor prescribed that for him. He's got to sit on it.
Right.
It might fix your toe too.
Well, what you would do with this is that, so let's say your refrigerator was the source of RFI that you were getting. You know, refrigerator's got that big ass, or not monetized yet, plug for the power cord. You would wrap, this is what you would use to wrap that one. So you would go through and do your 11 wraps or 9 wraps or whatever. And you could use something like this. This thing wasn't cheap though, it was $25. But I've got an interference problem that may require that.
Oh yeah.
Put it on your wife's blow dryer.
Yes.
What appliance is it?
I don't know what appliance it is yet.
So when you turned off all your power yesterday, did that?
I did. So I'm narrowing it down.
Well, did that get rid of the noise?
It did.
So it's something in your.
And I was ready to go over and have a discussion with my neighbor who just got solar panels. So if you remember, I was all whooped up about that.
And grow lights.
Right, I was going to go there and be like, look, you're going to have about 15 minutes to unplug them solar panels.
I'm going to get Jean Shorts Dave on you.
Right.
Because it's obviously the other neighbor. I mean, Jean Shorts Dave's on board.
Yeah. Jean Shorts Dave would be on my side on this one.
Brings a whole new meaning to ape shit crazy, right?
Oh, there it is.
It's funny whenever there's a dispute in the neighborhood. You know, everybody's got to weigh in on their opinion and all this other stuff. And it's over dumb stuff. Like we had a safety cone that was out. One parent was putting a safety cone out. No kids, just a safety cone to slow traffic down. And I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but somebody else lost their mind over the safety cone. They're like, "You're not putting a safety cone in the street." It's just stuff like that. It's like, are you kidding me?
Well, we all know safety cones don't do jack diddly squat, right? Like, come on. You're like,
Run
oh,
over
fun.
enough of them.
You feel like you're playing
right, slalom.
That's
right.
right.
Slalom through.
Well, it's funny you say that because there's a parking lot that is at a corner that I cut through on my way to Dunkin' every morning to get coffee. And they got tired of people cutting through their parking lot. So, and this is like a shopping center parking lot, and this is one company there that's doing it. So they put up a whole line of cones. And about every 2 or 3 days, somebody has come in there at night and rearranged the cones, mowed them down. They've opened up gaps that are big enough. And I'm like, I appreciate your work, son, whoever you are. Because I went right through it instead of going the straight way.
What they need to do is put a shopping cart. They need to put one of those metal shopping carts out there. So at nighttime, somebody comes burning through, can't see the shopping cart. And
right.
That'd be the last time
I have a
to do
driveway
it.
like that at the Ham Club, and I parked a car right out at the corner, and somebody actually had the nerve to sit in my driveway, not be able to see how to get onto the road that they weren't supposed to be using my driveway to get onto, and called the state. And the state called me, and the state's like, "You need to move your car." I'm like, "You want me to move my car out of my own driveway? Where would you like for me to put it?"
We have this curve in our neighborhood. It's kind of like a blind curve, and it's really tight. And when the plow trucks would come through in the wintertime to it's terrible. When the plow trucks would come through to plow the streets, I'm always like, I should park my old Honda out there right on that curve, right at the blind spot. So I'd be like,
need that insurance check.
Right, get my cash money. I've been paying in. It's time to pay out.
I did have a car that was hit by a snowplow, though. He slid down a hill right into my car, and that stopped him. Thank you.
That'll do it. Did you guys ever notice with the cones, AT&T trucks, wherever they park, like in a parking place, they have cones around their trucks?
Boss rules, man.
They have a cone holder on the back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but and if you're parked in the road doing, wire stuff or whatever, that's fine. But like, they come to our office to work on stuff, and they park in a parking place, and then they set cones out behind their truck. I'm like,
maybe they're just a safety rule. It's probably like
I'm sure it
That's
is,
the
but it's
rules.
it's ridiculous. You're in a parking place. It's probably okay. The rest of us don't have cones. We could get hit, I guess. I don't know.
right.
That'd be funny is vehicles start to come with these like extendable arms that come out from the back. Safety cones, every car,
That's right.
Yeah.
I'd be more interested in that fifth wheel. Like, do you ever see those cars that pull up? Like, you can pull into a parking space like head first, and then a wheel comes down in the back. It lifts it up, and they can pivot in. Have you seen that?
Isn't there a movie like that or like a comedy? Didn't Mr. Bean do something like that?
He may have, but it parks like this. You pull in, and then it lifts the back up and turns.
There's several cars that do that, I think. I don't.
Yeah, I've seen them. It's probably like a European
which one.
thing.
Yeah.
Chuck's saying hopefully he gets to activate today. Chuck, take your pill now, and then you'll be ready.
It would be just amazing if driver's ed had drifting courses, and then nobody has to parallel park. They just have to drift into their spot. That would be the easiest way.
Really teach them how to drive.
That might have been. Sorry, folks. I was spinning the car into the parking spot. I realized halfway through the motion that might have been bad. So I'll just do it like 6 more times to make it lessen the.
That's
blow.
like a European. That's a European thing, right?
Yeah.
Did you just flip us off in Europe or something, Theo?
Yeah.
I thought it was actually piss off. Was with that?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, in Canada, it's takeoff. So what are we doing here?
I don't know. It's so funny what people get offended by in the other countries, though.
Solder.
Exactly.
That's Hayden that gets offended by solder,
And the Brits too.
and the Brits.
I don't think much offends Hayden.
I've tried.
We got to call him jean shorts, Hayden. He wears jean shorts.
He does.
Oh no.
It might be the thing to do down there. I don't know. They don't do it up here.
Hey, Kurt, no, those are the vans that do inside wiring, not the bucket trucks.
I wouldn't get in one of those buckets.
I've done that. I've been in a bucket more than once.
Not me. I wouldn't do that, and I would not get in the balloon that the boys did today.
Apes
Now, I'm
what
with
you
you on
call
the
afraid of
balloon.
heights.
I'm with you on the balloon. That's a wicker basket. I mean, there's
Like,
like
how you know the bottom of it hadn't been sitting in water and it's all wet?
right?
You're up in there and the bottom drops out of that balloon.
Plus, I'm a little on the genetically enhanced side. I mean, is that wicker? Is that?
Well, what if it caught on fire? You got that giant flame. Did you see that lady torque that flame up?
Yep. Oh yeah.
It was like 12 feet of fire.
Tactical muffin tops and everything.
How long would it take for that balloon to just ignite and be gone? That's my question. If it caught on fire, would you have time to like descend quickly, or is it like, and you're just deadfall?
It's probably fire. It's probably fire retardant.
Yeah, sure.
They have giant flame by it.
I don't know, man. It'd get hot and melt and stick on you.
That's all.
I think you would want to. I think you'd want to bail. Like, don't they have rope in there though, so you could climb down real quick if it was a problem?
Yeah. So now you're 450 feet closer to the ground.
Yeah.
500 feet.
It'll make the drop hurt a little less. That
I know
extra
what I'm
50
trying to
feet.
say.
But most of that material stuff it needs to be treated by a spray. Like, I know when I was selling, doing like theater work, like sound systems and lighting, the drapes, the velour drapes, you get them fire treated, but then you'd have to spray them every couple of years with the retardant that just sits on the surface. It's not like the material itself is true. At least
so. If this lady's not spraying that balloon every couple of weeks,
It could be a flaming death trap.
Okay, folks, we got something. We got something.
It
we
might
got
be a
something going
different
on
material.
here real quick. Hang on 1 second. It's my twin brother, Joe Brett. How you doing this morning, Joe Brett?
What's up, brother?
Got to rock the flannel.
Right.
Is it that cold in Mississippi, Joe?
No, it's just you don't want to see the shirt I got on under this.
Okay, you just styling. All right.
it's a half shirt that he's got on under there.
So y'all starting to sound like the clubhouse a little bit. I thought y'all talked about ham radios on this show.
We have
What's
been.
ham
We're
radio?
just talking.
Abe had a Toroid up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He had a toilet seat cover. He had toilet seat is what he had up.
It is a big boy. I mean, it's a big one.
You hook that up on your main power coming into your house.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I bought it because it was I saw it on sale from a place I was buying stuff anyway. So
Kyle, I can't post your comment. I just don't want to.
I figured you was going to wrap the 220 dryer cord around that toroid.
Yeah.
That would break that toroid.
So supposedly hot air balloon material does not catch flame; it melts. So
like
that's
a napalm.
That's so much better.
Yeah, because then when it
It'll
drips
just melt.
on you, it just like leaves a
Right.
puddle of heat right there.
So before
Ever
you
wore
die from
polyester?
falling 700 feet, you'll have hot flaming balloon. burning
How high up
you.
do they normally go? Like, were they low or were they high for that today?
They were low.
I didn't know. I don't know how
they weren't
high.
high. I
So
think they were
what
like
they
600-700 feet.
Yeah, what they said was the lake nearby, she didn't have enough fuel to go over the lake, and she didn't want to land in the lake, so they cut the trip short.
But I mean, like, how high up do they go though? Like, I mean, you could just stay in one spot and go really high, right?
Well, you
Yeah,
go up and you get the wind.
You can, but you still got to come down, and that thing doesn't have propellers on it either.
It just comes
Like, how
down.
do you know you get in a balloon and it's not going to blow you into a bad neighborhood or something?
That's right.
It does. It does.
Straight over
Yeah, I
the
ain't
bad
getting-
neighborhood.
I can't wait to see Ape get in a balloon. Oh my god!
It ain't gonna. I'm telling you right now, it ain't gonna happen.
And they weren't wearing life jackets. That's why they couldn't go over the lake. they had no flotation devices.
Ape be throwing punches. In that basket.
Well, I mean, they didn't have a whole lot of bro space in there, and I noticed that they weren't adhering to safety guidelines for COVID-19.
No.
Yeah,
So-
no social distancing.
They were in open air.
Doorman Dave. Welcome, Dave.
Howdy, Dave. He's got his flannel on too, and he's got a legitimate beard.
Yeah,
And
not like the rest of us.
No,
Muted, Dave.
he's probably contractually obligated to wear that flannel with a beard like that.
He's muted himself. So.
There we go.
All right, now I got the stream up so I can unmute myself. Yeah, flannel party. I had to join. I can't hear you now. What did I do?
Oh, we aren't talking.
Yeah, we weren't saying anything.
We thought you were going to tell a story.
No.
Well, now you have to.
So,
Now I have to. Well, let me tell you a story about this cup of coffee. I'm gonna drink it.
So I
This is
googled
riveting.
hot air balloons and fire, and supposedly, if you see, I could never be a hot air balloon pilot or whatever you want to call him, captain, because supposedly, if it's really windy and it blows out the flame, and you relight it, it'll be explosive in the balloon. And I'm just thinking about when I start a barbecue up, and it just goes every time I start it. It would be disastrous for me to even try and be a pilot or a captain of a hot air balloon. That'll never happen.
Well, is it a pilot or is it a captain?
I have no clue. I
Interchangeable.
have no clue.
Because I think they have to have a pilot license as well. Like you get a pilot license for a plane or helicopter, you got to have one for a balloon.
You have to be rated.
Right.
That's how they get you, I guess. Like, why would you really need to have that?
What, the license?
To tell you what you can't do.
Right. It's
And
like
is
you
there
have to
kind
have
of-
a license for your ham radio.
Is that just hot air in that balloon, or is it
Just
any
hot.
other stuff in there?
Just hot air.
Should be just hot air for those.
I do not really have a YouTube channel. There might be one attached to my account with no content, but someday I might put up some stuff. I like to do a lot of POTA and outdoor stuff.
Besides the fire part, the part about the balloon that would worry me. I mean, I have a pilot's license. I fly planes. If the plane motor dies or I run out of gas, it's still going to fly. I mean, it's only going to fly down, and I'm going to have to land it somewhere that may not be, real good, but it's still going to fly. If your motor dies in the balloon, you're going one way.
Yeah,
but
but
what
when you
about
go
a tornado?
fast-
What if a tornado just starts up? Don't they just like start up out of nowhere?
Did you say tornado, son?
I think he did. I think
I
he
thought it was
did.
a twister in that part of the country.
Tornado.
See, he's
But-
not
but-
really from Nebraska. There it is.
Twister.
What about a tornado? If the tornado starts up, then you're done.
If it
for.
starts a stalling,
then you have violated one of the CFR rules about having all available information before plate, and you're a
But
knucklehead.
a tornado can just start up, though, right?
You're gonna know.
He said it again.
Well, yeah, when the sky starts to turn yellow and green and hail starts pelting you in your little basket.
Yeah.
You got to start letting the air out of that balloon to come down.
It's
You know
time
you're
to
going to
get
see
on
a
the
wizard
dirt.
soon.
Oh, cold air, please.
Papa Dave
What about
gets
just
it.
a strong dust devil? You can't predict those.
That's what I'm saying.
You just learned about that with Carlos on Thursday night. Come on now.
And
Joe was
That's what we
listening.
need to do. We need to combine hot air balloon mobile and parachute mobile.
Carlos could jump out of the balloon.
Exactly.
he could jump out of the plane and land in the basket with the boys.
There you go.
Now I wonder if like
Gotta
hot
get
air
Red
balloons
Bull
have to
on
have
board for that.
reserve. Do you think they have to have reserve fuel? Like, do they calculate that stuff, or is it really like, oh shit, we're almost at empty? Like, I'm curious about.
She was watching the fuel gauge.
I mean,
Yeah.
if anybody who's got a pilot's license, whether it's a helicopter, or a balloon, or an airplane, I mean, you want to know how much fuel you have before you go anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but like, is there like regulations that
No,
you have to have a
there's-
certain amount?
No. If I'm flying from here to Birmingham, it's a short trip. I don't need to put 40 gallons of gas in the airplane. 'Cause
Do
it's
you
just
own a
extra
plane,
weight.
Jim?
No.
Whose plane you flying around in?
Rentals,
I got a buddy.
baby. Rentals.
I got a buddy who owns a balloon, so I'm looking forward to meeting up with him and going balloon mobile at some point.
I haven't flown in like 15 years, but yeah, no, I just rent the plane. But there's no regulations. Now, the military has rules about gas, and common sense, you should, know how much gas you got. But if I'm just flying to Birmingham, I'm not paying for 40 gallons of gas at $6 a gallon to go.
Right.
on a-
You need enough gas to match your flight plan, and then a little
Yeah.
extra.
And what are you
10%
doing in
10%
Birmingham?
Extra. I just fly up to the airport, have a Coke and a cigarette, turn around and fly back.
Got to stay current.
And when I worked for the bank, we had the main office was in Birmingham, so me and my boss flew up there a couple times. We flew into Birmingham Airport and parked over on the cool side, not the terminal.
Would y'all get in a plane if Jim was flying?
Yeah, I'd fly with old Jim.
I'm still alive, so there's my resume, not dead.
He hasn't flown in 30 years.
So what
Does,
makes you
Leah
think you're
have her
qualified
license
for
yet?
this job? Leah does not have her license yet. She's taking the test soon. She's actually out of the airport right now.
Nice.
Yeah, Leah's working on her ticket, right?
Yep. I mean, it's the next big adventure after getting your ham radio license.
Yeah.
Right.
What's more expensive, to get your license for a plane or a
Ham radio.
helicopter?
Probably a helicopter.
Ham radio.
The plane, your pilot certificate for fixed wing, you can't get it until you have 40 hours seat time. And I think helicopters probably a higher requirement, plus which it's just a weird aircraft.
It probably
Helicopters
costs
don't
more
fly.
to rent a helicopter than
Yeah,
it does.
and it does.
Well, I sit in the seat almost all the time.
When I got my license, the plane was about $90 an hour, and that was with gas. I don't know what a helicopter cost, but that was also back when gas was $2.50 to $3 a gallon for avgas.
I gotta go. My kiddos are here.
All right, Dave.
All right,
Thanks for
see you,
stopping by.
Guys.
Take care,
Yep.
Dave.
See you,
Three of
Dave.
them.
Well, that's where all that noise came from. Now we know. I thought it was Joe Brett.
His fan. He's got a cooling fan over there, right, doesn't he?
So, Joe, did you get a royalty every time they said Wicker this morning on the stream?
Yes, 28 cents.
Awesome. I guess that's after all the generational divides in the family tree. It's only 28 cents per head now.
No, you got some more live streaming playing there, Joe?
Yeah, we'll probably do another one here and there.
See, that's why his way of being tight-lipped here and there. As we say.
I never can catch Joe's live streams, or they're when I'm at work, or
Well, he just does them. He don't tell anybody he's
it's
doing
like
it.
pop-up live streams. Yeah.
Right.
And I find out, and I go click it, and it's this stream ended 14 minutes ago.
Right.
And I
He's
live
like a
stream
bad
for like
penny.
2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, that's how slow Jim is.
You know, a lot of times I'm at work. I can't. I mean, I'm already FT8 at work, so.
Yeah, that's why I done it Friday morning, because I didn't want to interfere with coffee and ham.
Joe, you're right on the edge of your noise gate.
Hey.
I got rid of my noise gate. I was having problems with it.
Yeah,
I don't like
turn it off.
I said,
I mean, we're already putting up
gate.
with Jim's fan and Don's fan and just Molson in general.
Y'all can hear my fan.
I don't know why you hating
can
on
see it.
Molson. He's even quiet this morning.
I'm not hating on Molson. It's just his turn.
He's the best station frequency holding guy in the business.
Molson's a pro. I always call on him when I need a frequency held.
Well, it's funny because I was listening and I'm like, SDO, who's this SDO station? And then I could hear VA something, SDO, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's Molson.
I even heard him on the air yesterday when he wasn't holding a frequency. That was weird.
Yeah, I got a message in Discord. Were you just on 14? I don't know, 250 or something. 205.
Spinning the band.
Yeah, that was. And I thought I was in trouble. I thought he was going to be like,
band
I
police.
I thought he was also going to be like some complain about the way I was operating, or he was thinking somebody else was using my call sign. But then he's like, no, can you let's do a test.
Just wanted to have a QSO, man. Can't we just be friends?
Yeah, yeah. What? So you were testing an amp. What amp were you testing?
The Zygu XPA 125B.
Yeah.
So it's a QRP amp.
What? Tio, why don't you get that one that Santiago's selling? Get yourself a real Mercury 3.
I got some mortgage payments, like multiple mortgage payments I need to make.
What is that? The Mercury 3 is like $2,000, right? $2,500.
$2,500 for this one. He's got some extra fancy board.
And it's a kit. Normally, an amp like that would cost you around $6,000. So, again, it's
a good amp.
Certainly not cheap, but it's a lot less expensive than the other amps that are this. And apparently, Santiago's already put this sucker together, so you don't even have to assemble it.
Oh, Santiago selling his Mercury.
Yeah. Remember, he lost his antennas that were on his roof. So
I do remember.
Yeah.
That's he was asked to take those down, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
There was a change in management, and the new people were.
Yeah, the new guy that bought the building from the guy that had it for 22 years, and he decided to change the rules. So
that sucks.
Yeah.
See, he should have been like, "Oh, that's just a weather detector. That's not a radio antenna."
It's a lightning rod.
I'm sorry. The government has mandated that I keep it here.
Yeah, the way he told it, though, I think it was the other owner that told the new owner what those things were on the roof. So
all he had to do was fold out that ham license wallet thing and go, licensed ham radio operator.
Yeah,
it might be different down there.
And the guy would have pulled the deed out and say, "Deed owner."
Yeah, I know. I tried that with the state, and they're like, "Nope, it's still my right of way."
But it could be different down there. The ham radio people might not get the same respect that they do in the United States.
Right, right.
And back to the balloon thing. Shane was talking about that. He is working on getting a rider on his pilot's license for lighter than air, and it takes an additional 10 hours or something. And that he was talking about it on the stream. Actually, that lady's going to help him get it, train him on what he needs to know to be a lighter than air pilot, and then he gets a little stamp on his pilot's license.
Yeah, those are endorsements. So you get those for gliders and, like if I wanted to land on water, I'd have to get one for water.
I want to do that. That seems dangerous enough for me.
Were those planes that land on the water?
Yeah.
Planes.
Well, I mean,
do you guys remember Tales of the Golden Monkey? Do you remember that TV show when we were kids?
Sort of.
Nope.
The guy had the water plane, and he was always flying into some place. And
yeah. Well, they do it a lot in Alaska because there aren't airports everywhere they need, but apparently there's water where they need to land. So
they do it all over Florida. I mean, there is there's a bunch of float plane schools down there. You go down for a weekend and get your float plane endorsement. It's like about 20 or 30 hours, and that's it.
Are you instrument rated, Jim?
No, I got close, and I ran out of money, time, and willpower.
Yeah, this friend of mine that used to live, his neighbor that lived next door to me, like he spent hours and hours and hours working on, like he would sit in front of these simulators and just, I mean, you turn off all of the stuff. It was like you're completely dark at night. And then you only paid attention to the instruments, and you took off from an airport and you flew and you did nothing but look at those instruments the entire time, and then you landed it.
Yep. When I was doing it, and I logged a lot of hours under the hood is what they call it. And they're like goggles that you can't see out of up here. You can only see out of the bottoms to see the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exciting.
That's like when Luke Skywalker was doing that
That's
lightsaber
right.
training.
It's Jedi training. It's Jedi training.
Well, you think about that when you take a commercial flight and you're flying overnight. That pilot does not see a thing.
Well, nighttime actually. Oh Lord, look at that.
The comments in Discord.
Bless their hearts.
Bless their hearts. That's right.
The credit goes to Kyle AA0Z, who shared this picture on Discord. Thank you, Kyle. It's just very momentous.
That is
aces.
Great. Yeah, that's definitely going out over SSTV.
See, that's the problem. Oh my god, that's funny. That's funny.
I gotta say, I think that's better than the ape pictures.
I do too.
Yeah, the bromance.
Bromance.
Where is that on
Joe Brent's
Discord?
got the same icon as you do. It's on K5YBY's Discord.
Yeah, it's all Shane posted in Coffee and Ham Radios.
Oh, it's on ours now too. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Don, you can fly at night without any special rating, because I flew at night all the time because it's a lot cooler. Literally in Alabama at night. You only have to have instrument rating if you're going to fly in weather or above a certain altitude.
Oh, well, the guy that was, again, my neighbor, that's what he told me. But he also mentioned, weather and other things that it allows you to take off in a lot of other less than ideal conditions.
It gets you most of the way. There's still some conditions where you can't fly. If the airport is at 0-0, you can't take off.
Yeah, and you were talking about helicopters. This lady that I used to work with was going for her helicopter pilot. And the real trick on that is not getting your license. And even the helicopters, the reason the helicopters cost so damn much is because they are so expensive to maintain.
Yep.
Those rotors have to be changed out quite often. They're not cheap. The motors have to be inspected almost regularly, and they literally just crack themselves to pieces as they're flying.
And so you got to keep them greased. You got to keep those things greased up.
Yep. There's a lot of maintenance to them.
They have a swash plate. I've never seen a swash plate. I've just heard about them.
Yeah.
So, guys, what is instrument rated? Because I would assume that if you're flying a plane, you need to know how to use your instruments in the first place. So,
instrument rated means that you are certified, licensed to fly the plane without any visual reference. At all.
You can't see the ground. You can't see anything.
I have aircraft single engine land is what's on my license, which means I can fly day or night, but I have to be able to maintain visual separation between me and other aircraft, and I have to be able to see where I'm going. I cannot fly in clouds legally. A small cloud, maybe 300 or 400 feet across, bad juju for me to fly through because I can't see. So that's visual. And then when you get to instrument, then you get cleared to fly through weather that your plane can take, and that's a whole nother thing. But you can fly in the clouds. And also, if you're above 18,000 feet, then you have to have instruments to fly above 18,000 feet. They don't let VFR pilots putter around above that level. So, and then the other thing that instrument gives you is I don't think you can fly. I'm a little rusty on some of this, but I don't think you can fly international. I don't believe without instrument, and I may be wrong on that because I'm not close enough to anything international to test that.
You're not flying down to Mexico,
right?
I hear there's a lot of money in that.
And then
You're
a lot
picking
of
up some packages.
a lot of times when you fly only visual, you don't have to file a flight plan. I don't have to tell the man I'm getting in my plane and flying anywhere. But when you fly instruments, you have to file a flight plan. That's the only way to work, and you can only fly from here to there via whatever route you've told them on the flight plan and the FAA's approved. And also, like during presidential TFRs, nobody can fly through it without prior approval. They're around football games like NCAA football today. No random pilots are flying over the stadiums today. Those are all temporary flight restrictions. And depending on what kind of restriction it is, you have to be on instruments with a published flight plan to get approval to fly through a TFR. As a visual pilot, they ain't going to let me fly through any TFRs at all.
How do you keep track of that? Say you decide to go to the airport. Say I have my license and I'm like, I'm going to fly somewhere, and I take off, and then
I fly through a TFR.
At what point, or how do you know or get advised, hey, is it like YouTube where you get a notification bell notice, or is it like you have to research it? And
you have to. So before I would fly every time, there's at the airport here in Montgomery, I would go in there and they had a computer and I could get really good weather, so I could see what was going on with the weather. And then it also has any notice to airmen's, NOTAMs, and that's for where I'm at. Like, don't use this runway because there's a giant hole where Billy Bob backed the cat up into it, or whatever.
Skidster.
Well, like here in Montgomery, we have a National Guard base. So whenever they're flying, there's a cable across the runway at 7,500 feet. So it would be kind of a party foul to, land my airplane into the cable. So you just have to look online. You go to the various websites, and there's tens of them that do it. But the FAA publishes all the data, and it's called Notice to Airmen. So if I'm flying to...
It should be Notice to Air People.
Air People, I know. The FAA is still using 1970s computers. So I have to look up all that information.
They've upgraded?
Yeah. Next gen, baby. Next gen.
Folks, you have reached the end of another fantastic episode of Coffee and Ham Radios. Tomorrow we have special guest star Steve Goodgame from the ARRL now coming on to talk about Ape's RFI problems. Because that's what the ARRL does.
Right. Is this ARRL week? Because you also got the CEO on Nuggets, right?
Yeah, I think it might be.
We do appreciate the fine folks over at the league and all that they do for this fine hobby of ours. So I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, and we will see you in the next one.
Take care, y'all.